everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr, and today we're going for round 2 of our raspberry beer week. Now, on Monday, we did a really good raspberry beer from Cantillon. Hope you guys were able to watch that one. It was called the Rosé de Gambrinus. But today I wanted to focus on another fruit beer, a fruit beer that's more really focused on the flavor of raspberries. And this one's a pretty tough one to get as well. It comes from New Glarus. It's called their Raspberry Tart. The reason why it's so hard to get is that you can only buy New Glarus's beers in the state of Wisconsin. Now, one thing that's really interesting to me about this beer as well is that it has a very low ABV, which is 4%. So it's even, it's even got a lower ABV than, most Bud Lights and Coors and things like that. So I could have also had this on my low ABV series week we did a few weeks back, but I'm glad I saved it because now I have one of my third beers that I need to do my raspberry week. So with that said, let's go ahead and dig in. Raspberry Tart, here we come. Now, if you're wondering why there's some already gone, my wife is back watching Glee and asked that she get a big, nice glass of this because this is one of her favorites as well. And hey, it's always a treat around the Starr house when you can get a New Glarus beer. So if you're watching Glee, which I'm not, but if you are, it's a double special treat. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get some of this into the glass. And you can see it pours a pretty good amount of head. It's with this kind of glass, it's pointless to measure it, but getting a pretty good amount of head on there. Now, unlike the Cantillon that we looked at the other day, the head on this one is not a light pink color. It's more of a tan color, not even eggshell white, but just straight up, tan, and maybe there's a touch of red in there. As for the color, also very, very nice color. The beer that we had the other day, the Cantillon, was really, like a vibrant red. This is a lot, I wouldn't say darker, but it's a lot more rich. It's like a mahogany red color. I wish you could get a good exact estimate of that on camera. I know the camera can change color a little bit, but when you see this thing in person, I mean, it is just absolutely gorgeous color. And it's very effervescent. Again, that's probably why they want you to serve it in this type of glass, much like you would experience either a sparkling wine or a champagne. But really, really a beautiful color. Love, love, love the color. But now I'm going to go ahead and smell it because I imagine that this thing is going to just emanate raspberries. So definitely getting a lot of the raspberries up front. On Monday I talked about Lindemann's Framboise, and that really is a very sweet fruit beer. When you taste it, it has almost the mouthfeel and the taste of like a cough syrup. It's just very, very syrupy. This one, I don't get a ton of raspberries. I don't even smell a lot of sweetness. But I have had this one once before. Granted, it's been a little bit of time since I had it. But I remember it was very well balanced, meaning that it wasn't too sweet, and it certainly wasn't tart like the Cantillon Rosé that we had the other day. But one thing on the nose too that I'm getting is a bit of a like a woody sort of characteristic, almost like some sort of like molasses barrel. Not molasses itself, but maybe even like a barrel that's been used to, age honey or molasses or syrup, for that matter. Maple syrup, I guess, would be the closest thing I'm thinking of in my head. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and actually, before I move on, I want to tell you that I think what it really smells like, what it really reminds me of, is fall. So when we talk about fall, we always think of things like pumpkin and other things, but really, when we talk about even Thanksgiving, when we talk about cranberries and things like that, this really has a festive smell to it. And I don't know that many people talk about that when they review this beer, but I did want to call that out. And when you smell it, you'll see what I mean. So anyway, let's go ahead and taste it. I've said enough already, so let's do it. Man, that just tastes so good. Now, it's definitely sweet. It's a lot sweeter than the Cantillon, which, you know, duh. But really, it's not so sweet that, you know, you're kind of off-put by it. I really am tasting this really nice, rich, you know, maple syrup component like I was talking about earlier. Almost like there's some spice in here as well. Now, it doesn't, you know, immediately taste like clove or cinnamon or something like that. But I actually do get a very small amount of cinnamon, even a breadiness. I know when I reviewed the, what was it? I think it was the Founder Cerise. I talked about how it tasted like a cherry pie with a sort of cinnamon crust. So the cinnamon was kind of, in my mind, paired with the bready crustiness of that pie. And I really kind of get that from this one as well. Obviously, I'm getting, you know, raspberry instead of cherry. Sorry, it splashed up on me a little bit. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you suffer for beer. And like I said, this is one take, so what can I say? And there is a bit of spiciness on the finish as well. And what I mean by spiciness, it's not a bitterness, but there's almost something that just kind of, like an astringency, that really kind of bites the inside of your mouth. I can feel it on the roof of my mouth. I can feel it on my tongue. It's making me salivate every time I take a drink. So there is a bit of tartness in there, but just a very small amount. But that's one of the things that I think is really good about this beer, is that it's extremely well balanced. You get that raspberry quality that you're looking for, but it's not just, you know, beating you in the head with raspberries. So yeah, definitely getting a little bit of caramel. So really like this beer. You know, for 4%, it's something that you can share with other people. If you can get one of these, you know, I recommend hanging on to it until Thanksgiving, even Christmas. You know, when you have family coming in and everybody's kind of sitting around visiting, this would be a really good beer to pull out and take 4, 5, 6 glasses down to the living room, down to the basement where everybody's hanging out, and say, hey, you know, let's share this bottle of beer. It really will kind of go with, you know, that time of year, but it also goes really well in the summer. So, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do a raspberry beer week. I'm not sure about you guys where you live, but here in Kansas City, the weather has just been absolutely gorgeous lately, around 70 degrees, lots of sunshine, and it's my favorite time of year. So really wanted to bring some raspberries into the mix. I hope you're enjoying these. I hope you can get this beer, and hell, I hope I can get another one for that matter. But anyway, I'll leave you with that. If you go to my website, hopry.com, leave me a message. Again, let me know what your favorite raspberry beer is. Join me on Facebook as well. We have some discussions going on out there. And always follow me on Twitter, which is twitter.com/thehopry. All right? Well, thanks a lot for coming back, guys. We'll see you on Friday. Bye. Awesome raspberry beer. Yes.